This episode of DDO Players News is brought to you by our friends over at the Skull Splitter Dice Company. For all of your dice needs, head to skullsplitterdice.com. From metal dice to regular dice, if it's a dice, Skull Splitter Dice has what you need. That is skullsplitterdice.com. And don't forget to mention DDO Players. If you're a new customer, they're going to give you a free set of dice.
Good day, everyone. This is Pilot Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News. We take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drac. Are things feeling better over in Barovia?
Yeah, it's still the same, but we're getting by. We have cold beer. That's all that it matters.
We have cold beer. That's what matters. All
See,
right.
I said I wasn't going to talk about beer during the pre-show, and here I am talking about beer again. We all knew I was going to talk about beer, but it's fine.
Now, I suppose then that the liking of beer is the reason why there are no quests that involve the wrecking of the brewery. They only involve the wrecking of the winery.
See, that's right. Because the brewery is more important than the winery. Brewery trumps winery. We just figured the ancient question right there.
There we go. Now let's head into our game news where we have update 42.5, which has a few things in here relating to Epic Destinies, it looks like.
Yeah, that was the bulk of the patch. So feel free to go over to the link on the show notes for this episode and read all about these, because there's a lot of Epic Destiny changes. Few changes over on the hardcore server. They corrected an issue that prevented some characters from being able to interact with mortality on the hardcore server and receive their earned rewards, which is a good thing. I would have been pissed if I would have got a reward and then I couldn't talk to mortality. But that is now fixed.
Yes. My question is, does that mean that someone actually got high enough level that they were able to submit a bug report on this?
Maybe? I don't know. I don't know if it's something they found on their own, or maybe somebody actually did get that high on hardcore. And they were like, hey, I can't talk to mortality. I can't get my reward. Either way, now it's fixed. And also, players can now interact with mortality on the non-hardcore servers, and you can receive their earned rewards. So if you actually earned rewards over on hardcore, you can go over to live and get your rewards on the live servers, which is a good thing as well. The leaderboards will now properly update if a character is renamed. Over-level characters can now enter certain landscape areas they previously could not in order to access at-level quest. This is a very good thing.
Yeah.
There were several places where people were getting locked out of quest because they couldn't enter the landscape area to get to said quest. In kind of tandem with that, the Seek Dryden's Council and the Gateway to Kyber have been exempted from the over-level lockout to prevent characters at an appropriate level from losing access to the rest of the quest in that chain. Again, a very good thing.
Okay.
So there you go. We had a little bit of enhancement fixes as well. All positive healing enhancements will now properly target and affect Pale Master players, say that a couple times fast, in Shroud form. SLAs in the Pale Master, Renegade, Master Maker, and the Beacon of Hope that were erroneously working while under anti-magic will no longer do so. Wah, wah. Hope you enjoyed all that while it lasts.
Yeah.
The Dragonborn Embolden now works on Dragon Breath. The Vampire Form Enhancement bonus now functions correctly on the Pale Master, and its Dominate, our hit effect, now also has a greater than 0 chance to proc. Greater than 0 is always good. The Necrotic Array, Necrotic Blast in the Pale Master now accepts the Enlarge Metamagic feat as well. And over in the swashbuckler enhancement, exploit weakness once again properly dispels its stacks on a crit. And as we talked about a little bit, Epic Destinies, quite a bit there. Go check out the show notes for that because we're not going to talk about that. And that's really about it. They did adjust some loading screen tooltips to better reflect new experience mechanics. Okay.
In other words, some were a little inaccurate due to
I guess, but
changes.
All right. Confession time. I don't ever pay attention to the loading screens.
Never?
Not really. I mean, I know there's one that, like, when Ravenloft first came out, that was like a Ravenloft screen. I thought, oh, that's cool. It's, Ravenloft. Castle
Right.
Ravenloft. That's cool. But, like, the words on the screen, I never read the words on the loading screens. Ever. Matter of fact, are there words on the loading? Well, apparently there are, because I guess some of them were wrong somewhere. And then the Portal UI now has more up-to-date information on the new Bravery bonus mechanics. So apparently a lot of people read, because reading is fundamental.
Reading is fundamental.
I apparently am not fundamental because I don't ever read the loading screens. I'm sure somebody over at Standing Stone works hard on those loading screens, and here I am saying, I don't ever look at your work. I'm sorry.
But that's such useful advice.
See, and now we know. Now we know there's words on the loading screen. Or at least now I know that. So now I'm going to pay more attention to whoever does the loading screens. Your work is not going to be in vain. I shall, from this day forward, read the loading screens.
At least once a year, right?
Yeah. Once a year. There we go. That sounds better.
Let's then head on to an announcement that they are planning a super simple change to the Adventure Compendium.
Yes, and Gumsgang is agreeing with me. What? Wait. There's words on the loading screen? See? Yes. Yes. Super simple change coming to the Adventure Compendium. This should have always been there. I never understood why it was not there.
I know why it wasn't there during the early days.
Well, during the early days, it makes sense. But developer Sick, who actually posted his first post with this post. So welcome, Sick, to the forums. I'm sure he's been around for a while, just never posted. His first post was to announce this. He says, hey, I just added a new column to the Adventure Compendium that will allow you to sort by epic level. This will be in an upcoming patch. So yes, and if you're watching the YouTube version of this, you get to see a screenshot of this because he put a screenshot in for this. You can now see the level Heroic/Epic on the Adventure Compendium. Why was this never there to begin with? I don't know. But this is awesome. So good job. Much needed, much wanted. I know people have been requesting this for a while. So it has happened. Well, sort of happened. It'll happen in an upcoming patch. But I mean, it's happened. It's just not happened in the game yet.
Yeah. It'll happen soon, TM.
Yes, exactly. Soon, TM. But a much needed change. I, for one, am happy about this.
Then let's head into the DDO Chronicle for issue 347. And that looks ugly.
That's mortality. That's our friend Mortality. He's not ugly. He's our friend.
He's your friend. Which is that in the Hall of Heroes then?
This screenshot probably is from the Hall of Heroes. Unless they did some trickery and just moved it somewhere so they could get a screenshot. But
because I just don't recognize the logo.
I think they're kind of doing some of their camera magic that only devs can do to get weird camera angles. Would be my guess on that.
That's always a possibility.
That would be my guess.
They can put Mortality anywhere they want.
They can. They have a whole server just for them they can play with. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking there was some dev trickery going on in this, but Nonetheless, we have Mortality the Reaper on our Chronicle cover this week. In
Is that what a Reaper looks like?
That's what a Reaper looks like.
It shows how much I've gone in Reaper mode.
Well, at least that's what the Mortality Reaper looks like. I mean, there's different Reapers, but yeah, basically that's what a Reaper looks like. One of these days I'm going to drag you in a Reaper quest just to just for the fun of it. Yeah, just for the fun of it, and to hear you freak out the first time a Reaper comes. It'll be fun. That's my goal. You and I are going to do a Reaper quest just so I can get your reaction to it.
What do you mean? I die when a kobold breathes on me.
This is true. I mean, yeah, sure, you're going to die real fast, but it's going to be enjoyable for me. And probably the audience that will be watching, because I will be twitching this. So it'll be fine, Pine Leaf. It'll be fine.
Note to self, do not group with the hardcore server.
No, I wouldn't be that mean to do it too. Or would I be that mean? No, I wouldn't be that mean. Because I might die too, so yeah, no. In the community spotlight section, Strimtom is playing on the hardcore server. Watch Strimtom play and see if he survives. Spoiler alert, he didn't.
Oops.
Yeah, oops. It's okay. Sorry. He's back now with more characters, but yeah. I
would hope so.
I did watch one of his streams where, yeah, he didn't survive, but he was doing some insane Reaper level that I'm like, dude, you're going to die, don't do it. Oh, you died. Bard's Life with Doug Glendower also is playing on the hardcore server. A lot of hardcore server playing. That's going to be a theme that we are going to be exploring later in the show as well, just so you know. But yes, Doug Glendower is also playing on the hardcore server. We got a shout out in the community spotlight section this week for our last episode, Hardcore Tinfoil Hats. That title does make sense. If you listen to the show, you'll understand.
It's very rigid tin.
Wow. Over in the Fansite News, I'm just going to move right on. Fansite News section, Brock and Friends, also playing on the hardcore server. See, I told you this was a theme that, was going to continue. DDO Cast had their episode 569. That is update 43, part 3, our preview part 3, the Reaper changes. You can also watch Those Meddling Kids, The Ghost of Saltmarsh, part 3, The Sea Ghost, and that was, of course, part of D&D Night on DDO stream. And I do believe that was the final episode of Those Meddling Kids as they wrapped up Saltmarsh. Not sure if they're going to continue on with something else or what's going on with that, but stay tuned. That'll be announced soon. Streaming with Even is playing, you guessed it, on the hardcore server. Watch Gaming with Rain, and that takes place over on Sorlona. See, you thought I was going to say hardcore server there, didn't you? The DDOPL folks continue their Warforged series, so check those guys out. And Freedy O with Psycho Blonde. We, of course, have the Chronicle comment. What is a good use for full plate other than in battle?
Well, obviously you want a full plate when you're eating because you will starve if you only have a little bit on your plate.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay. I can't even follow that up. Wow, Pineley. Wow. Let's just move over to the screenshot of the week, shall we? That is the wow. The minstrel Safrina, sure, why not, arrives in the City of Towers for the new musical show. That is the 428th DDO screenshot of the week. I'm still trying to recover from the whole plate comment. Wow. I got nothing for you, Pine Leaf. Nothing.
Then head on to our store sales, and I heard that you're going to be trying to advance your alts.
That is correct. 25% off during the Adventure Alts sale. Tomes of Learning, select low-level adventures, +2 ability tomes, and the ever-popular character slots through August the 29th, all at 25% off.
You'll need the extra character slots to create new characters when you get killed on the hardcore server.
Yes, you will. And the weekly coupon code is going to get you a free Serious Heal potion. That is going to be times 10 with the coupon code HEALS, HEALS. Pro tip, I would save those and get those on the hardcore server. You never know when you're going to need a little bit of pocket healing. So
We'll need some serious healing.
Serious Healing potions times 10, coupon code HEALS. That is actually, also all through August the 29th as well.
Then let's go and see what's on the tabletop. Then we'll begin with an announcement by Jasco Games where they are resurrecting the Evil Dead 2 board game, which I got the impression was from a Kickstarter gone bad.
Yeah, Kickstarter gone very bad. Also known as how not to run a Kickstarter.
Yeah, I've heard of horror stories like that.
Yeah, this was pretty bad. About 2 years ago, Space Goat Productions raised about $700,000 for their Evil Dead 2 official board game. Of course, that is of the movie, so that's where they got it from. They got the right to make a board game for the movie. It looked awesome. It was going to be awesome. The game funded. Kickstarter ended. People didn't hear anything. And then they finally heard some stuff. It's like, oh, we ran into a couple delays. Some costs were a little higher than we thought they were going to be. Yada, yada, yada. We'll, give you an update soon. Nobody heard anything. So then about a year after that Kickstarter ended, Space Goat, in their infinite wisdom, decided, hey, let's kickstart another game, shall we? So they kickstarted the Terminator board game, which it also funded. It raised about the same amount. So between the two games, they raised about $1 million. Neither board game has ever surfaced.
I thought there was an old saying, fool me once, shame on you.
Yeah.
Twice, shame on me.
Exactly. The president of Space Goat even said, "Yeah, we're sorry that these two Kickstarters were just fails. Thanks, give me my money back." But anyway, so everybody thought, all right, this Evil Dead board game 2 is never going to come out. We're never going to see this game. We're never going to see our money. That's still, there's rumors that there's going to be a lawsuit. It's just, that whole thing is getting ugly. So Jasco Games decided to step in, even though they have nothing to do with Space Goat Productions whatsoever. They are not tied with them at all. They wanted to do something good for the community. So Jasco Games stepped in. They got the rights to the Evil Dead board game. They created a all new board game. This has absolutely nothing to do with the other board game. Though they did say they did take a few things from the original game, but it's really an all-new board game, and they decided to put this back up on Kickstarter. There's a little twist with this Kickstarter, though. They're calling it a Heartthrob campaign. And what this means is if this game successfully funds, Jasco Games said they will give original backers a copy of the game. So if you originally backed the Evil Dead 2 board game, you do not have to kickstart into this one. I mean, you can if you want, but if you are an original backer and this funds, which currently, as we record this, they are at 54,936 of the 195,000 that they need to get this funded. If it does fund, original backers are going to get a copy of the game, which I think is amazing of them to do. They didn't have to do this. As I said, they have nothing to do with Space Code. But they just wanted to make this right.
I am trying to figure out how they could come out with anything but a loss if they did that.
Yeah, they said they're putting everything at cost. They are going to end up probably losing money on this. They think they're going to just about break even. Because even people that just kickstart into it now, the base kickstart for this is way less than what it originally was. It originally was like an $80 game. They have it priced at $59 that you can kick into it. So for $59, you can get yourself a copy of The Evil Dead 2, and you can help the original backers of the game get a copy as well if this funds. So this is amazing. I say good on Jasco Games for doing this. As I said, they have nothing to do with Space Code. They are not messing anything with that. They don't know anything about it. They just want to make this right. So I think it's a pretty awesome deal. So yeah, as I said, $59. You can get yourself a copy of the board game, and you can help get an original backer copy of the board game. 18 days to go as we record. As I said, they're at $54,995 of the $195,000 goal. So let's hope they can raise that in 18 days and make this right and get this game out, because the game does look awesome. It looks even better now. I mean, it looked good before, but now with their redesign, it looks pretty freaking amazing. And the minis look awesome too. So I'm kind of excited about this one. So I hope this one does fund.
It'll be tricky encouraging people to fund on after
Yeah, and
the last two fiascos.
I think that's why this is not blowing up and taking off, is because I'm kind of wonder if people are worrying, this they are tied into Space Coast somehow, and this is just another ploy to get money from people. But I do want to make it clear, and I know Jasco Games is trying to make it very clear as well. Nothing to do with the previous Kickstarter campaign. The only thing, they are working with the rights holders to Evil Dead 2, Cano Productions, and that's how they managed to get the original backer list. So that's who they know who originally backed the game that never got their copies from the failed. Well, the Kickstarter that made it, but then never delivered. I guess it wasn't a failed Kickstarter because they raised like $700,000, and I think they only wanted like $200,000 or something. They raised way more than they wanted, and the game at this point is never going to come out unless this Jasco version comes out. So once again, I do want to make that clear, and I know Jasco Games. I've been kind of talking back and forth with them through email, and they kind of said too, yeah, that's the wall they're kind of hitting right now, is to make sure people understand this is a totally separate thing. They have nothing to do with them. They want nothing to do with them. They're just trying to help out the community. They're doing all of this at their cost. They are not going to make any money off of this, and as you said, they're probably going to lose money on this unless they really got the numbers just right and everything goes right. They'll have enough just to cover the cost.
Kickstarter and everything goes right are rarely
right, exactly.
Especially considering certain trade wars and stuff like that.
Yes, that's also still kind of on the table, but so we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited about this one, and I hope this one actually funds. But as I said, you're doing good by going into this, though, because if you help it fund, you're helping one of the original backers finally get their game. So kudos to Jasco Games for doing this for the board game community.
And yes, thank you for helping on that matter, and hope you some success there. Though I must admit that something called The Evil Dead doesn't sound like something that's going to have me jumping onto it.
I didn't figure you would be excited about this, but yeah, I'm pretty
Right.
excited about this.
In other news, we have an announcement from Flying Buffalo, where their founder, Rick Loomis, has passed away.
Yeah, this is super, super sad. I was really
Yeah.
sad when I read this.
Yeah.
I think we
Let's-
did. It's been a while since we talked about it, but we did say he was sick. They did say that he had cancer. He was recently put into the hospital. Unfortunately, he didn't make it, and he did pass away from the complications of his cancer. You
yes.
you might be asking, Rick Loomis. Who is Rick Loomis? Why do I know him? He's a pretty big influential guy in the board game industry, actually. He did found Flying Buffalo Games back in 1970. He helped to bring Tunnels and Trolls to the mass market. So we all loved Tunnels and Trolls. He also did Grim Juice Traps, Mercenary Spies, and Private Eyes, plus more. He also did a bunch of board games. He's got the Nuclear War game. I can't think of off the top of my head some of the other board game they've done.
Well,
And he also helped to found Gamma, the Game Manufacturers Association, and he was president for that for years and years.
now I remember him quite a bit because Flying Buffalo was also a major distributor for the Lost Worlds book series.
Oh, that's right. They were. I forgot all about that. You're right.
And didn't Flying Buffalo used to do these play by mail games? These things which today, of course, you normally do over the internet.
Yes, they did. They were actually a pioneer of that. And 2016 Gen Con, so quite a while ago, we had a chance to talk with Rick Loomis, and we talked to him about the mail order games and stuff. So if you want to familiarize yourself again with that interview, I did link it in the article for this. But this is super sad. And as I said, the article I put up over on DDO Players. On a side note, this kind of was personal because Rick was a very, very amazing, nice person. He was always super nice. I always stopped by, even if I didn't have like an official interview with him. I always stopped by the booth, even if they were busy. He always took the time to talk to me. He always remembered who I was, talked to me. I'd run into him sometimes in the halls of Gen Con or on the elevator. He would stop. Once again, he remembered who I was. He would say, "Hello, how's it going? How's your Gen Con?" Just small talk or whatever. Just a genuinely nice guy. So this is like super, super sad.
Yes. And I've been hearing about this for quite some time because I've been receiving his newsletters from
Oh,
Flying
okay.
Buffalo. Yes.
Yeah.
And so he usually recently, he's normally having an update on the latest health status in addition to the convention news and the products news and all that. And unfortunately, cancer just does nasty things to you.
I really want to say something here, but I won't.
Then,
I have one word for cancer, but I won't say that word because Piley would be offended if I said it. So we'll just move on.
okay, then let's head into our week in gaming. And Jarak, what were you up to?
I was up to hardcore, of course.
Ooh.
Still running with Mythery, still alive. We are level 5, almost level 6.
And what's this finished level 2, most of 3?
We finished all of the level 2 quests.
All right.
We are running all the level 3 quests. We are almost finished with all the level 3s. Right now we're finishing up the waterworks, actually. And then after we get that done, I think there's one more level 3 quest that we have left. And then we're going to move on to the level 4 quest. We're running everything on hard. So that's kind of our goal. We're going to run everything on hard.
Try to get those points.
That's right. What is the character Drac is playing class? Gumsking is asking. I am a rogue/ranger.
A rogue/ranger. Wouldn't playing the ranger get in the way of you getting your points for your trap?
No, actually, the way I built it, they kind of go hand in hand.
Okay. Figures you make it synergize.
Yep. Yeah, I did well as much as I could. It's kind of weird, but I just kind of wanted to. I've never really done a true combo build like this, and I knew that we wanted trap stuff.
Right.
So I thought, let's just try it. I mean, this is like, just for fun. Myth and I are doing this totally for fun. We're just going slow. We're just taking it easy. Like I said, we're only running on hard.
You're not going to try to compete against Lessa?
No. She can. Godspeed, Lessa. Godspeed. I'll just be back there taking my time, slowly moving through stuff. The goal is 1750. That I want the eye cosmetic. That's my goal. So we'll see. Gumsgang is saying he lost his first character at level 6. Death by derp. Got too close to a trap. Decided it was time for a tougher build. Yes. Then you replace that character with 2, an Artificer/Barbarian splash, and a Wizard Pale Master Rogue splash. I like both of those, actually. Ooh, see, now you're kind of making me want to do a Pale Master Rogue. That would be interesting.
Well, the trouble with a Pale Master Rogue is once you have difficulty with spell failure?
It depends how you built it. I mean, you could build around that.
Oh, you could build around it.
You could, yeah. But so that's so far so good. Still alive. I don't remember how much we did just hit a favor milestone because we got email and got DDO points, but I don't remember what milestone it was. So I'd have to actually look to see how much favor we have. But slowly but surely getting there. Like I said, my whole goal on the server is stay alive and to get 1750. If anything else happens, good on it. I'm not running Reaper, not running anything on Elite. Just doing hard because you get a little more favor. And I realize I'm probably going to get emails and people are going to say, if you run everything on Elite, you get more favor and you get it faster and blah, 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 blah.
You die faster, too.
Well, that's the thing. I'm enjoying the way I'm playing. Mythery is enjoying the way that we're playing this. We're both having fun. That's all that matters to us. I mean, good on you if you want to run everything on Elite on Reaper 10 or whatever. Go for it. You do you. I'm playing the way I want to play. I'm having a blast. I kind of missed playing DDO like this because it's kind of like when I first started playing DDO. It's like it's challenging because it's like I don't have my gear. I don't have a bunch of alts I can pass money to. Any good gear I get that I want to make sure that I keep, I run to the bank, put my shared storage right away. I don't carry a lot of money on me. I keep all that in my bank as well. So I'm having a blast with this. And I think other people are too. So I'm kind of glad SSG did this. And I'm really kind of shocked at myself for having as much fun with this as I am. Because I didn't think I would enjoy it quite as much as I am, but I'm having an absolute blast. So we'll see what happens with that. Also played some D&D 5e. We did our Heroes of Battle Rise campaign. That is the Out of the Abyss. We are making our way through the Underdark, trying to get out. We had episode 3 that aired last night on D&D Night on DDO stream. Video should be available on that now. A fun time as always. As I said before, Evil Beaker's DM for that one as well. Amazing DM. So much fun. And I've never actually played and or DM'd the Out of the Abyss campaign. So this is really fun for me to because I've read through the book several times. I was gonna actually DM it a couple times, and I just never really had the opportunity. So absolutely blast for me to play in this D&D 5e over on D&D Night on DDO stream. And then I did manage to play one video game. I know, shocking. Checked out the Blackout Club. That is a new game that was just released. We will have a review of this after I play it a little bit more. I'm about to the point where I think I'm ready to make the review for it. This is like a paranormal, supernatural stealth game. The premise of the game is you are kids in this town and stuff happens to you at night. It's when you quote unquote go to sleep, you're blacked out and people are disappearing and maybe they're reappearing in like a place that they don't know how they got there, or some people are just totally disappearing, and it's all kids this is happening to. So you and your friends join this club. It's called the Blackout Club, and you guys are trying to get to the bottom of what's going on with this. The mechanics of the game are pretty interesting. A lot of the games you have to play in as your character with your eyes closed. So there is a mechanic in the game where you actually close your eyes and the world around you changes and you see stuff that you can't see when your eyes are open. So you have to use that as part of your strategy. There might be parts. There was one whole section yesterday where I played. The whole time I had to play with my eyes closed because I was trying to find clues for stuff, and the only way to see them was when my eyes were closed. In game, of course. So,
Okay.
Interesting game. It's a stealth game. A lot of it, you do have to use stealth. So that's kind of interesting. It's really not my kind of game.
Stealth with your eyes closed.
Yeah, and plus you got to have your eyes closed, and then you got to be stealth. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, it's called the Blackout Club. So look for a review of that coming soon over on DDO Players. Other than that, it was just hardcore.
I know. You could avoid troubles because your main opponent is going to be the ravenous bug blaster beast of Thrall.
Maybe you might be onto something. Maybe. Have to see how that pans out, but yeah. So what'd you do finally?
All right. In DDO, I was playing on the hardcore server with my halfling cleric, and I was going through level 3 stuff. And of course, I was going back to some of the level 2 stuff in order to do this. So I ran Dirk's Got a Secret, Bringing the Light, Miller's Death, and all that stuff. And finally, after doing all these level 2 quests, I finally got it. I was on my 4th level. I thought, okay, I better get into Cerulean Hills before I hit level 4. So I went to this.
Well, yeah.
So I went to the Cerulean Hills, ran the captives and where there's smoke, and there I reached a level 4. I did manage to finally unlock my double crossbows, and they seem to be working better than the last time I experimented with the class. So I'll go around there shooting double cross. Actually, I sometimes shoot my double crossbows, and I'm sometimes am on my mace. And since I've got the wisdom modifier, since I have the falconry tree, I'm running with a so I'm on the falconry tree. It means I'm running with a wisdom modifier in order to do my damage. I went far enough into the falconry tree to get that wisdom modifier. And I am using the inquisitive tree in order to handle the stuff on there. Now that I have my double crossbows and I have my bolt summoning, I guess I could decide then which tree would be better for what I'm doing. How about this? How would I actually think about which tree would give me the items that I need instead of just randomly choosing? How's that for a thought? You're saying, huh? Anyway, I reached level 4 at the end of that.
Well, congrats.
Yes. Then on tabletop, I received my copy of Snowdonia, so I ran the starter scenario for that, where the early parts of this game, it was constantly raining and foggy, which slowed me down in what I was doing. That plus the fact that it's the first time I was playing Snowdonia. And let's say I went meh at best as a result on the game to it. Now, I am running I was using the beginner solo rules because what they had is that the original edition had a set of solo rules in them, but this edition also includes a new set of solo rules, what they're calling the advanced solo rules. But they recommend that you do the basic scenarios first, get to know the game, and once you're comfortable with how the game operates, then you're ready to try the new solo game, which I heard is a lot more challenging. So obviously, I want to be ready for when that happens. And also arriving this week is my copy of Eon's End, The New Age. And I ran actually 6 games of that. I completed the first expedition because that's what the thing that they're introducing here is the expedition system. So I ran the expedition that they include with the New Age set, and one of the expansions, Into the Wild, also has an expedition there. So I'm halfway through that expedition. So I've run a couple of 6 battles and trying some interesting new mages and facing some interesting new opponents. So I'm having a great deal of fun on that, which probably you can imagine if I got this game on Thursday, I've already had 6 run-throughs, yes. We currently have 18 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on a podcast of your choice or EMB guest with us for an episode of DDO Players News. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. And you could also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Draculetta at Dracula_72, finally Fit Piling Needles, and you could follow Drac on Twitch at Draculetta_72. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows on Thursdays. You should change your template to say Mondays at 7 p.m. USC time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. USC time, we have Lucha Players News. You can choose our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Finding Duels reminding you to quest responsibly.